Now, viewers, the unfortunate incident from Minneapolis has triggered a nationwide political and law enforcement flashpoint in the United States. Now, in this case, a woman was fatally shot by a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officer, and this was during a targeted federal immigration operation in Minnesota. Now, the incident occurred as the federal agents were conducting enforcement action amid a wider immigration crackdown, which has been ordered by Trump administration. And according to the Department of Homeland Security, ICE officer faced resistance when a group attempted to block their movement. Officials say that one individual attempted to run over officers with a vehicle, which prompted an ICE officer to fire defensive shots, fearing for his life and the safety of fellow officers.
This morning, we learned that an ICE officer shot and killed someone in Minneapolis. My deepest condolences to the family, to the loved ones who had to learn about this tragic event on national television. We have been warning for weeks that the Trump administration's dangerous, sensationalized operations are a threat to our public safety, that someone was going to get hurt. Just yesterday, I said exactly that. What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV. And today that recklessness cost someone their life. Let me be clear. Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident. But we love this state. We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this. I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully, as you always do.
Now, viewers, eyewitness and aerial footage from the scene shows protesters clashing with police, paramedics attempting a CPR on the wounded woman, and a grieving spouse identifying herself at the scene as federal agents secured the area. Visuals capture the chaos on the streets that unfolded as tensions escalated rapidly following the shooting. In fact, President Trump also defended the ICE officer after reviewing the video footage, stating that the officer appeared to have acted in self-defense. The president blamed left-wing political groups for fostering hostility toward law enforcement and said that the incident is under review. Meanwhile, Minneapolis mayor strongly disputed the federal account, saying that the presence of ICE agents had created unrest in the city. He demanded that the immediate withdrawal of federal immigration enforcement forces take place, while reaffirming support for immigrant and refugee communities. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz also announced a full, fair and expeditious investigation to determine accountability in this case. Former U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris also criticized the administration's explanation of the shooting, calling the incident deeply disturbing and urging an independent state-level probe. Further, we also have a reaction coming in from New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani, who stated that the attack was an attack on every citizen and assured immigrants staying in the New York that they will be protected. Now, viewers, the shooting in Minneapolis, in fact, comes amid reports of surge in federal immigration enforcement, with nearly 2,000 agents deployed to Minneapolis, intensifying protests as well as political divisions across the U.S. So that's the latest flashpoint that we're witnessing in the United States right after an ICE officer shot dead a woman. The ICE officer says it was an act carried out in self-defense, whereas protests have now emerged over the shooting. Let's also listen in as to what the security chief has said on this incident.
Any loss of life is a tragedy, and I think all of us can agree that in this situation it was preventable. I've spoken to the president today on the situation here on the ground. I also just got off the phone a little while ago with Governor Walz and spoke to him as well. I want to reiterate first with all of you the facts of what happened today. At 10:25 a.m. Central Time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement were carrying out lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather that Minneapolis has seen in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law enforcement were attempting to push out this vehicle, and when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in, shouting at them, and impeding law enforcement operations. ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day. ICE agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands.